Hello and thanks for joining us on another interesting episode of The Eagle, the program that brings you updates on happenings in and around the EFCC. My name is Aisha Muhammad. Thank you for staying tuned.
Imagine a society where everything works. Durable road networks, stable electricity supply, portable water, well-equipped and functional healthcare facilities, quality education for all, affordable housing schemes, social security benefits, job creation, and a lot more that makes life comfortable to live. That is an ideal society. We can only achieve these if we all play our part. Say no to corruption to enjoy these benefits. Kill corruption to save Nigeria. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
On the program today, Magu advocates consensus in tackling corruption in Africa. EFCC dogs Shinkafi, Yuguda orders for alleged 450 million naira scam. Goje EFCC admin charge closes case as witness insists 5 billion naira loan was obtained with forged documents. Court rejects Alawa Kala others' application to stop trial. Illegal oil bunkering, Navy hands over vessel, 9 suspects to the EFCC. This and more will come your way right after this timeout. The acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, Ibrahim Mustafa Magu, has called on African countries to have a common resolve in tackling corruption, noting that most of the problems confronting the continent were directly or indirectly linked to the monster. The anti-graft czar made the appeal while addressing a high-level continental consultative meeting on corruption and good governance in Abuja. Rolake Odofinjolayemi has the details.
Magu implored the participants in the African Peer Review Mechanism Forum to look at the leakages affecting their economies, stressing that the meeting should serve as an avenue for stock-taking on the progress Africa has made or is making on various anti-corruption fronts, particularly in tracking and checking illicit financial flows.
This meeting, I dare say, should serve as an avenue for stock-taking on the progress Africa has made or is making on the various anti-corruption fronts, particularly in tracking and checking illicit financial flows in line with Africa's vision to develop a common strategy for asset recovery.
The EFCC boss also charged African countries to come up with proposals to reassure the world that returned stolen assets will be accounted for in order to engender the much-needed support and cooperation of other countries. He also assured the meeting of Nigeria's zeal to fight corruption, adding that the Buhari-led administration is determined to ensure that those who steal our common patrimony are punished to serve as deterrent to others. According to Magu, the EFCC has secured over 603 convictions in the last 3 years. He added that anti-corruption agencies must be empowered to discharge their responsibilities while insulating them from any form of interference. The anti-graft czar also underlined the role of the judiciary to the success or otherwise of the corruption fight, saying that the judiciary too must be willing to support the fight against corruption by ensuring that justice is served no matter the cost, and above all, the political leadership must exhibit the will to fight corruption. In his presentation, Executive Secretary, Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, PACAC, Professor Bolaji Owasonoye blamed corruption on bad leadership. According to him, a country's success is dependent on the efforts and determination of national leaders with vision to fight corruption. He added that in countries where leadership has not changed for a while, the outcome due to corruption has remained the same or deteriorated, whereas in countries where visionary leaders have emerged, corruption has diminished no matter how minimal.
But it is time for us to introspect and to ask ourselves how long we want to hold on to the ills of the past rather than our present failure to act. It is safe to conclude that corruption is a major part of the modern-day chain that is holding Africa bound to the past and to poverty, to underdevelopment, internal strife, civil war, regional conflicts, terrorism, capital flight, etc.
Professor Al-Amin Abumanga, member APRM panel of eminent persons, advocated the sensitization and active participation of youths in the fight against corruption, saying it is the responsibility of every African to fight the scourge of corruption, which is of paramount importance in Africa.
It is important to mention that the government of Nigeria has put in place mechanisms and policies to fight corruption as commended by APR panel. We are grateful and further encourage the country to continue with the fight on corruption.
Rolla Keodo Finjolaimi, reporting for the Eagle.
Corruption is dishonesty and illegal behavior by people in positions of trust. A public office is a public trust. Do not abuse positions of trust for private gains. Stay away from corruption. Nigeria is a great nation, and it is our responsibility to make the country greater. If you notice any act of corruption, please report to the EFCC via info@efccnigeria.org or call 09 904 4751 or 09 904 4752. You can also call 09 904 4753. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has arraigned the former governor of Zamfara State, Mahmoud Aliyu Shinkafi, alongside 3 others before Justice Fatima Murtala of the Federal High Court sitting in Zamfara on a 5-count charge of conspiracy and money laundering. Here are the details.
Others charged alongside Shinkafi are the former Minister of State Finance, Ambassador Bashir Yuguda, Aminu Ahmed Nahuche, and Ibrahim Malaha. The defendants allegedly conspired and received the cash payments of 450 million naira, part of the $115 million that was allegedly distributed by a former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Dezani Alison Madueke, to compromise the 2015 general elections. All the defendants pleaded not guilty to the charge when it was read to them. Counsel to the prosecution, Johnson Ojogbane, requested the court for a trial date in view of the plea of the defendants. The defense counsel, J.C. Shaka, moved a motion for bail, asking the court to admit the defendants to bail pending the conclusion of the matter. Justice Murtala, after listening to the arguments between parties, granted the defendants bail in the sum of 5 million naira each and 2 sureties in like sum. One of the sureties must be resident within the jurisdiction of the court, while the other must own a landed property within the jurisdiction of the court. Both sureties shall be public or civil servants, not below grade level 16. The court also ordered the defendants to deposit their recent passport photographs and international passports with the registrar. The case has been adjourned to 27th and 28th June 2018 for commencement of trial. Rolla Keodo Finjolaimi, reporting for the Eagle.
The trial of a former governor of Gombe State, Senator Muhammad Danjuma, continued before Justice B. Quadri of the Federal High Court, Jos, with the prosecution closing its case after the accused persons pleaded not guilty to an amended 21-count charge. The defendants equally served notices of moving a no-case submission. Rolake Odofin again tells us more on this case.
Yes, Aisha. Earlier, Chris Owobu, an investigator with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, who is the 24th prosecution witness, narrated how a 5 billion naira loan facility taken by the Gombe State government under Goji was facilitated through a forged resolution of the State House Assembly. Goje is facing trial alongside Aliyu El Nafati, S.M. Dokoro, and Sabo Muhammad Tumu on conspiracy, embezzlement of funds belonging to Gombe State government, as well as taking loan facilities without following due process. It will be recalled that on 7th February 2018, the case was adjourned for continuation of cross-examination of PW24 by the Defense Counsel Chris Uche, SAN. Mr. Owobu stated that the EFCC wrote a letter to Access Bank where the facility in question was collected, requesting the statement of account, mandate card, and all account opening documents of the Gombe State government account. He stressed that when Access Bank responded to EFCC's request, a copy of Gombe State House of Assembly resolution approving the facility and signed by one Shehu Muhammad Atiku, the clerk of the Assembly, was among the documents provided by the bank. In order to verify the authenticity of the said resolution, the witness said the clerk of the Gombe State House of Assembly was invited and he volunteered statements to the EFCC wherein he stated that the purported resolution sent to Access Bank and on which basis the 5 billion naira loan was granted to Gombe State government did not emanate from the Assembly and that his signature was forged. The witness further informed the court that on the date that the resolution was purportedly made, there was no proceeding in the House. Re-examining the witness, Prosecution Counsel Wahab Shitu asked whether the facility in question was mentioned in Gombe State Appropriation Act, a supplementary act, as domestic loan within the period under review, to which he answered in negative. The case was adjourned to 3rd October 2018. Rolake Odofinjolaimi, reporting for the Eagle.
Corruption is a cankerworm. Na cankerworm. I said na cankerworm. Na cankerworm. Corruption don't finish our country. Nigeria women rise up and come together. Oh yeah.
Every woman come out. Magu fight corruption together. Oh, every woman fall out. Magu kill corruption together. Oh,
them they thief our money. Send them obodo yibo. Children they suffer every day. Better school in no day. Nigeria women come, women from every sector. Make we fight corruption, we won't kill our country. Them go collect money for light, chop the money, light we no see. Good road and good health and call. We no see. I said
Join the EFCC in its crusade to rid Nigeria of corruption. Naija, now we ono.
Justice M.L. Owolabi of the Oyo State High Court sitting in Iyaganku, Ibadan, has refused the application by a former governor of Oyo State, Otimba Adebayo Christopher Alawakala, and the Chief Executive Officer of Pentagon Consult, Olufemi Ademola Babalola, for stay of proceedings pending the outcome of an appeal at the Supreme Court. Again, Rolake Odofinjolayemi is our guide.
In his ruling, Justice Owolabi said stay of proceedings will do more damage to the case, which has been pending since 2011, and ordered the prosecution to assemble all its witnesses at the next date. Alao Akala, alongside the former Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Hosea Ayola Agbola, and a contractor and Chief Executive Officer of Pentagon Consult, Mr. Olufemi Ademola Babalola, are standing trial for offences bordering on alleged criminal conspiracy and fraudulent practices to the tune of 11.5 billion naira. They were earlier arraigned on an 11-count charge by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. However, after arraignment, their trial was stalled following their application to stay further proceedings pending the determination of their appeals at the Supreme Court by counsel to the first and third defendants, A.O. Afolabi SAN and A. Ugunwole SAN. Their motions were, however, opposed by the prosecuting counsel, Ben Ubi. Relying on his written submissions on points of law, he urged the court to refuse the applications and order for accelerated hearing of the case in accordance with the intendment of the Administration of Criminal Justice Law of Oyo State 2016 and Section 19, Subsection 2B of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Establishment Act 2004. The case has been adjourned to June 29th and July 3rd, 2018 for trial. Rolake Odofinjolaimi, reporting for the Eagle.
Imagine a society where everything works. Durable road networks, stable electricity supply, portable water, well-equipped and functional healthcare facilities, quality education for all, affordable housing schemes, social security benefits, job creation, and a lot more that makes life comfortable to live. That is an ideal society. We can only achieve these if we all play our part. Say no to corruption to enjoy these benefits. Kill corruption to save Nigeria. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Crude oil is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, and theft of the resources is considered an act of national sabotage. For this reason, EFCC regularly beams its searchlight on activities of illegal oil bunkers. The Benin office of the Commission recently received a vessel allegedly involving illegal oil bunkering. Like your other fin is standing by.
The Nigerian Navy NNS Delta has handed over 9 suspects and a vessel allegedly involved in illegal oil bunkering to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) for further investigation and possible prosecution. All the suspects, Friday Ujugbeli, Captain, Samuel Chidi Akumas, Chief Engineer, Lucky Opowo, Chief Mate, and 6 others are Nigerians. Commodore I.A. Dewu, Commander NNS Delta at the handing over in Warri, stated that the suspects were aboard the vessel MT Nipple when they were intercepted on January 30, 2018 by men of NNS Delta at Afremo oil field while siphoning crude oil. The commander further stated that the vessel was laden with 386,556 metric tons of crude oil.
1st of January 2018, the vessel was arrested in SPDC Afremo field, and the vessel siphoned about 306,000 liters of crude oil without an approval. The men of NNS Delta arrested this vessel, and the vessel was brought to NNS Delta. And it is only normal that when we arrest vessels, we carry out the investigation. Thereafter, we hand them over to a prosecuting agency, which we are doing today. We have handed over this vessel with the crew, about 9 of them Nigerians on board, to the EFCC.
Receiving the 9 suspects and the vessel on behalf of the Commission, Richard Ogberaha, a senior detective superintendent, said the Commission will do a painstaking investigation to ensure that those found culpable are brought to book.
We've just taken over possession of the vessel. We will carry out preliminary investigation. It has already started with taking of samples and all other things. We are going to make sure we investigate and determine the extent of involvement of all the people involved, even those that are not maybe connected outside this place. We are going to see that they are all prosecuted.
Imagine a society where everything works. Durable road networks, stable electricity supply, portable water, well-equipped and functional healthcare facilities, quality education for all, affordable housing schemes, social security benefits, job creation, and a lot more that makes life comfortable to live. That is an ideal society. We can only achieve these if we all play our part. Say no to corruption to enjoy these benefits. Kill corruption to save Nigeria. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
If you're just joining us, the program is The Eagle, coming to you from the stables of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Next is a prosecution story.
The suspects are E.A. Gyonha, Agasonwa, Precious Osarume, Enebulele Osazi Frank, Osahon Scott, Efe Enyorobo, and Peter James. The operation, which was carried out on May 11, 2018 by the Advanced Fee Fraud Section of the EFCC, through a string operation followed an intelligence report on the activities of the fraudsters. Surveillance was carried out and the identity and location of the fraudsters who specialize in defrauding innocent citizens both within and outside the country through internet fraud were identified. The EFCC operatives arrived at their hideout at exactly 2 a.m. on that fateful day, unknown to the suspects who had settled down to begin their normal night routines of surfing the internet for victims to defraud. The EFCC operatives put an end to a game which could mean the victim losing lifetime fortunes and investments to fraudsters. On arresting them, some of the items recovered from the suspects include a Toyota Camry car 2009, laptop computers, 4 ECOWAS international passports, 17 mobile phones, 2 flash drives, an HP printer and certificate of award of Asian Professional Security Association in favor of Sun Nyanje. All the items recovered from the suspects will be subjected to forensic examination, after which they will be tendered as exhibits in the course of their prosecution. The suspects will be charged to court as soon as investigation is concluded.
Corruption is a cankerworm, na cankerworm. I said na cankerworm, na cankerworm. Corruption don't finish our country. Nigeria women rise up and come together, oh yeah.
Every woman come out, Magu fight corruption together, oh. Every woman fall out, Magu kill corruption together, oh.
Them they thief our money, send them obodo yibo. Children they suffer every day, better school in no day. Nigeria women come, oh. Women from every sector, make we fight corruption, we won't kill our country. Them go collect money for light, chop the money, light we no see. Good road and good health and call, we no see. I said na cankerworm, oh, na cankerworm, oh.
Join the EFCC in its crusade to rid Nigeria of corruption. Naija, now we all know.
That's all we have for you on today's episode of The Eagle. Please don't forget to send your feedback to us via The Eagle at efccnigeria.org or search for us on Google Plus at Official EFCC or Official EFCC ng@gmail.com. Like our page on facebook.com/Official EFCC or follow us on Twitter at Official EFCC. And of course, we are on Instagram. And to watch our programs and other activities, please log on to youtube.com/Official EFCC. My name is Aisha Mohammed, hoping to see you next week. Don't forget to be a change you want to see, as change begins with you and me. Goodbye, and God bless Nigeria.